Hello, hello from warm Quincy, Florida, right outside Tallahassee, Florida. I'm Robbie Susan Chandler, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And when I mean warm, our temperatures have been running between 95 to 98 with a heat index of around 110. So it's been nice just to stay inside and work on some Christmas cards. So today I want to share, this is what I'm calling my bonus card in my series of cards made with One Horse Open Sleigh. Only this card is not made with the One Horse Open Sleigh Designer Series paper like the other 7. I actually used the Gone Fishing Designer Series paper to make this card. But it's also used the Trucking Along stamp set. But let's take a look at the card first, and then we'll get into all the supplies. So this is, it's a what I call a faux sidestep card. It stands up like this, but if you can see from the side, we've got a little Z shape here where it stands up. These are so hard to show in the camera from this angle, but it stands like this, and you see the sides. Now, when I say it's faux, that means you don't actually cut into the cardstock, but I'll show you how to do that. So let's take a look at all the parts and pieces to this card. Let's start with the card pieces themselves. So here we have the base. This one is Mossy Meadow. It's 8 by 5.5 inches, and I scored it at 3 inches, 6 inches, 7 inches. So that's 3 inches, 6 inches, 7 inches. So we'll go from this side. 3, 6, 7. So when you fold this, you want to fold the first one under, the next one you fold back, and then the next one you fold under. And that gives you your base of your card. That looks like this. Now, to go on this, here's my DSP, my Designer Series paper, Gone Fishing. The front strip is 3/4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, and that would go right here. And then this piece is 5 1/4 by 2 3/4, and it goes back here for your background piece. Now once you get those pieces on, oh, let me show you another piece I put in here. Actually, on the back, I put this piece on the back. It's a piece of Very Vanilla, and it's 5 by 2 3/4, but you could put it under here, so when they opened up the card it would be there. I just chose on this one to put it on the back and just put a tree on it, so either place would work. Alright, moving on to some more pieces. This is what makes our faux step or our pretend step card. This piece is 3 inches by 8 1/2 inches, and I scored it at 4 1/4, and you just fold it in half, and it's going to go on this piece. Let me move these and I'll show you how that goes. So here's a piece I've already adhered my Designer Series paper to, and here's the one that's going to make it a step card. So what you do, you just glue it even to the front and bottom, and then turn over to the back and glue it even to the bottom of the back. This being 4 1/4, this is the exact size, and this is 5 1/2 excuse me, of our card, normal card. So now here's one thing you could do differently. You could just decide where you want to put this. You could put it here and put the cinnamon over here like I did on this one. If you don't want to put a cinnamon on the front or a big one there, you could just put it in the middle, or you could move it to this side. So there's a lot of options there. It's just entirely up to you. So once we glue that down, this is what it looks like. You see, and this one I went on and put the piece on the back. So it's even in the back, even in the front. It looks like this. Now let's look at our front piece here. It's another piece of the Designer Series paper from Gone Fishing. So you can see the little lures on the back, so you know it's from the fishing set. This one had fish on the back, the plaid piece. So this piece is 4 inches by 2 7/8 inches, and it's going to fit right here on our front. But first, we're going to do some coloring on it. So let's start with our grass at the bottom. And I used Mossy Meadow and a blending brush. And I just take it and I just swipe back and forth across. If you start off the paper and go onto it, you'll have more luck and not get weird marks. And then once you get on there, you can do a little scrubbing around, you know, circular motion. But generally just a back and forth motion works. And I think that's about as dark as I want that one. So that's the grass. And then I worked up to starting my sunset look. And I used Poppy Parade. Yes, Poppy Parade. And same thing, just start off the paper and just start scrubbing back and forth. I'm actually going to make this card for a swap when I go to Las Vegas for backstage. And I have a feeling after I do this about 5 times, I'm going to be asking myself, what were you thinking? You wanted to do 20 of these? I'll probably just do it in sessions, maybe 5, 10 at a time. All right, my next level up is Daffodil Delight, and I write this on here because the labels don't show too good on there. And let's just pick up the ink, and when you're doing this, you want to kind of blend your colors into each other so you don't have, you know, a striped looking flag kind of look. So just blend that one in. I think that looks good. And then for my sky, I used Azure Afternoon. It's one of our new colors. It's really pretty. It makes a great sky when you're working on cards like this. Let me turn this around. And just kind of smear some of this up around the top and go down into that yellow a little bit. Of course, when your yellow and your blue meet, you're going to get a touch of green there, but just kind of adds to the color. So I think that's good. There's our piece. Now to give it a little more character, I decided to put some mountains on there, and to do that, just take a sticky note, a post-it note, and just tear you little mountain range. And I take that and just stick it down, and you're going to cover the top part. Just kind of stick it down there. And you don't want real dark, as you can tell I've used this piece quite a bit. Don't want real dark mountains, but just, I'm going to hold this with my hand. The stickiness is just about gone off this piece, but we can get it. And make sure you pull down when you're doing this, because if you push up towards the post-it note, your ink's going to go up under your post-it note and your mountain range won't be sharp. It'll be, it just won't be sharp. You don't want to do that. So let's take a look, see what we've got so far. I'm just going to lift it up. And that looks pretty good. I'm going to add just a touch more. Okay. And there's our mountain range. Let's get this put up so we don't put anything in it. All right, so can you see my mountains there? So this piece, we're going to adhere right to the front of our card. Let's see if I can get some glue out of this one. Yeah, I picked one that's, let's get a tape runner. Okay. All right, so let's just stick this down right on our front. A little bit too far over there. That's why I kind of like my green and white glue. I can move things around a bit. Let's lay this flat. With the snail, when you put it down, it's staying down. There we go. Okay, so now we've got the front of our card made. Over on this side, I cut an oval and stamped the sentiment from Holly Jolly Wishes, 'Tis the Season to Be Jolly. And I just tied a little baker's twine bow, stuck it down there with a glue dot. And we'll just stick this over here on the side. There we go. And the tree right here was from a retired set too. It's from Evergreen Elegance, and it's stamped in Mossy Meadow. Now my sentiment is from an older set, but if you've got a small Merry Christmas, that'll work, but it's from Good Greetings. And I kind of liked the way the font was on this because I felt like it kind of looked like a truck riding along. So I stamped it on Very Vanilla and cut it out with our classic label punch, which that's another one that's I pulled out of my stash. Any label die will do. And let's just put this right in this area. Okay, I also cut some trees from the Regal Reindeer die set, and this is current. And the trees cut really nice. I really like them. They have a little texture to them, little pop-ups if you want to pull them up. And I'm just going to pop it right over here behind where the truck will be going. Right there. Okay, now let's talk about the truck. The truck I stamped on a piece of 3" by 2" Very Vanilla. And I use the Very Vanilla because the DSP in this card had a vanilla looking background, not white, so I felt like the Very Vanilla worked better with this. So I used the Trucking Along stamp set with the Trucking Along builder punch. And these are the stamps that you'll use. You'll start with your outline, and then you fill it in with this part, your fill-in part, and you could make your truck any color. And then the tire and the wheels are this stamp right here. And you can stamp those, or if you wanted to, you could just color them in with a marker, and I use the silver Sharpie to color my hubcaps. See the silver there on them? That was with this silver kind of a paint marker. And I've also noticed on this stamp, if you need some eyes and eyebrows for a card one day, there you have some. So once you get the truck stamped, you just punch it out. In fact, we can do this one. I can do the wheels later. You just kind of slide it in here, line it up. Oh, and I will show you something else too. I'm going to line this up at the bottom. I'm going to line the wheels up at the bottom so I can show you a difference in how to do this. If you line the bottom wheels up, you can punch right almost on the line. And then if you don't like this outline, you can just trim along that. Now this one I did not do that, so it's got a border at the top and the bottom. But if you don't like that border, I would say line it up at the bottom and then trim the top off. Either way works. And you saw these other pieces fly out. We have wheels. We also have windshield. We also have bumper. So all those pieces will punch out of this too, if you want to add those instead of just using the stamp. Now I also cut another tree from the reindeer dies to put in my truck. So he's just carrying this big old truck along now. This tree is a little bit long, so I found I had to trim a little bit off the bottom. And let's put a little snail on the back here. So you just pop this tree right in the back of this truck, and these people have 9-foot or 10-foot ceilings in their house, so they needed a nice big long tree. So there it is. Now let's put this on our card front. I'm going to add a couple of dimensionals here. Let's put one there to hold that together, and just pop this on there, and we'll be on our way to the house from the Christmas tree farm to decorate our tree. There we go. So there's our card. Isn't that cute? I think it's so cute. This little truck is so cute. Like I said, you can do different colors. Now I want to show you a variation I did on this card, a different one. I was just playing around, and here's a different one. You notice I put my step side on the other side. I did not put a sentiment here. I decided just to use some trees. And everything on this card is actually current. This is a new stamp set called Christmas Classic, and it's to you and yours. And I put that right there, and the dies are from, this little one is from the Countryside Corner dies. And I also decided to put the sentiment, or the piece that I sign, inside. So that's what I put in here. And wishing you a festive Christmas comes from the Trucking Along set. And then this pretty watery looking Christmas scene is from another new stamp set called Magical Meadow, and it's this stamp right here. And this is what it looks like when you stamp it, which is pretty cool. I thought it went quite well with my trees, and cutting my tree down and taking it to the house to decorate it. So I hope you like this card. Please like my video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and there's a link below for your free tutorial with all the measurements and dimensions and instructions on how to make it. And until next time, happy crafting!